I got curse words in my head when I was 3 months old in the Lord. I had deliverance ministry say, well, you should have came to us. We could have got you free. I said, I wasn't bound. I was just hearing voices in my head they weren't internal. I wasn't possessed. They were just implying that I was thinking it. So that I'd read blaspheming the Holy Spirit and young Christian hungry and think that I committed some unpardonable sin. And then this dark feeling would come over me. Oh, people live in that stuff and they live by feelings and they're trying to get ministry to feel different instead of believe right. And we spent countless hours ministering to flashbacks, memories, impressions, and feelings, trying to get people to feel different instead of see different. Because I sat on my bed and said, Lord, I don't feel this way about you. And I was crying, and those phrases were vulgar. And he said, I know you don't. I heard it in my heart, and that was a relief. And I said, what do you want me to do? And I thought I heard the Lord chuckle. You can make fun of that if you want, but I thought I heard the Lord chuckle and say, what do you do? Meaning you don't do anything. Listen, every time you hear them voices, separate yourself from the voices and from your heart and tell me how you feel about me. He wasn't one bit interested in the voices stopping. He was interested in me not yielding to them or believing them. We think when the voices go away, we have victory. No, when you don't believe them, you have victory. Well, I just want the devil to stop lying to me. Well, you just called him a liar, so if he's saying you'll never be nothing and he's a liar, you must gonna be something. So every time you hear you're gonna be nothing, you probably ought to lift your hands and throw a fit of worship and thank God you're gonna be something. Well, I keep hearing my life ain't changing. Do you believe that? I don't wanna believe that. So lift your hands and thank God he's transforming your life. Keep filling your heart with the word and go after God. Why would you let a negative thing stop you? Those voices raged in me. I'm talking for days and weeks. They would come, and every time they'd come, when I say rage, very aware of them, yada da 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 da, and nobody knew it was happening. I would smile real big. I've worked a lot. I was 10-hour days shifts back then, and then things, and I'd be like, Holy Spirit, I love you so much. Nobody knew the vulgar thing that was going on in my mind. Holy Spirit, I love you so much. You're my best friend. Oh my goodness, you reveal Christ to me. You bring him glory through my life. You teach me all things and show me things to come. You're the best. Yak, 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 yak. Holy Spirit, I so love you. Now, I can't tell you when those voices went away. I was so here. I can't tell you. I can't give you a point in time. But it was way months later. Months! Yep, the voices weren't the problem. Believing them would be the problem. So about 6 months in, 9 months saved in the Lord, I just realized they were gone, and even when you think about them, they weren't there. You get what I'm saying? And all of a sudden it hit me. Guess what I had at 9 months old in the Lord? An intimate awareness and relationship with Holy Spirit that I don't believe I'd even had close to if it wasn't for the voices. So how do you stop that kind of wisdom? We think we have a problem when the whole time we have an answer. And we get problem-driven instead of answer-conscious. So how did those voices, why were they a detriment to me? I sat in a teaching on the gifts of the Holy Spirit when I was 9 months saved, and they gave an assignment to believe to be used in one of these 9 gifts in Corinthians, and I realized I had flowed in every single gift listed, and I wasn't a year old. I was already guest speaking in churches at 9 months old in the Lord and had a whole testimony of crazy, beautiful things I had witnessed in my life. And the whole time I was hearing curse words in my head, but not believing them, letting my love go this way and he's revealing himself. And now I'm flowing in gifts and God's moving. Why? Because this thing was trying to break me, but it ran the risk of making me if I'm a believer. Did you get it? So I don't know, that's probably for a bunch of us. Stop living out of your feelings, emotions, memories, and mindsets. Get the word and wrap the word around that thing and be answer conscious for the rest of your life. The devil's a liar. Whatever he's saying, there's no truth in him. If he's saying you'll never be nothing, you have a lot of hope. If he's saying you ain't gonna make it, you already made it. You're already there. Just lift your hands and thank God you're home. You see what I'm saying? If he says, oh, your life ain't changing, you've been saved how long? There's no real change. It's just all emotion. Who's ever heard stuff like that? Who's ever been just driving in their car, minding their own business in God or in life, and all of a sudden a flashback comes or something you wish you could forget that you did just pop up out of nowhere for no apparent reason? It's just there, and you relive something that you wish you could forget. Anybody know what I'm talking about? But what happens is then that feeling comes, and that defiled, and that reliving it again, and no. As soon as that happens, keep your hand on, if you're driving, keep your hand on the wheel and watch the road. Okay, you're not gonna say, well, Pastor Dan told me to worship God. Officer, this man said, take your hands and raise them high. No, keep your hand on the wheel and watch the road and just start celebrating and worshiping God for a life that's changed and the truth that's making you free. So every time that stuff comes, you counter with the truth. It's the weapon of your warfare. You bring every thought that rises above the knowledge of God into captivity and hold it obedient according to Christ. Are you with me? You don't need prayer in that situation. You need truth.